In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about matte borders and when you might want to consider including one in your custom frame. So let's start with what exactly is a matte border. So it's basically a thick paper-based material which sits between the acrylic glazing and your framed item. It provides two core functions. It gives you more room to get creative in terms of how your finished frame will look. For example, you can choose different colors and widths with the matte border to give it some added pop. It also helps to separate your item from being in direct contact with the acrylic covering, which is useful in a hot climate like Singapore. If you consider something like a glossy photograph, over time, if it's sat in a moist environment and it's directly touching the acrylic, it's possible the photograph might end up getting stuck to the acrylic. The matte border in between the two would help to prevent that from happening. The decision of whether to include a matte border is really a personal preference in most cases. Matte borders work particularly well with smaller items as they amplify the total size of the frame and draw the focus towards your item. You can see with these two examples that are both the same size in terms of the picture, but we have one without a matte border and one with a matte border. And in this case, the one with the matte border looks much more appealing. On the flip side, there is a couple of scenarios where you might not want to use a matte border. For example, large format posters will often look best with a simple black frame and no border at all. Some prints and posters also come with natural borders included. So for example, this printed map of Singapore has a wide white border already, so there's really no need to introduce additional spacing with a matte border. As always though, it's really down to your personal preferences. So how might you decide what colour to choose? The most popular colour often tends to be white, and it works really well in contrast with the majority of colours. If you want to try some other options, then the general rule of thumb is to select a colour that closely matches one of the primary colours within the item that you're framing. And I have a couple of examples here. So for example, in this Frida Kahlo poster, has a lot of strong colours, including a lot of black tones. So we've gone for a black matte border to really give it some pop. Likewise, if we take this vintage Singapore poster, which has a lot of yellows and creams included, so we've gone for an off-white matte border. If you have a digital image of the item you plan to frame, you can always upload it onto the Frameit website and play around with different matte colours to get a sense of what might work with your item. If you're looking for something that we don't currently have on the website, just get in touch. We'll probably have something that will work for you.